Coming to you straight from Houston, Texas. Lisa Denae Live. Real talk for the real world.
As the holiday season approaches, look no further for custom jewelry and waist beads than Kimberly and Company, featuring natural stones, crystals, unique and vintage beads. You're sure to find a gift even for the person who has everything. Purchase necklaces, bracelets, and waist beads individually
Stand by 10
purchase a
seconds.
set for a better value. Direct and contactless delivery is available. Visit us on Facebook at Kimberly and Co. for more information or to make a purchase.
5
And
seconds.
don't forget to mention Stunner Radio to get a 15% discount or free shipping.
Hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae, and we are here with Lisa Denae live on Vanguard Media, brought to you by Stunner Radio. I tell you what, we have had a day today in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Just letting y'all know we come to you a little late, mainly because we have some traffic issues here in Houston, which really is no surprise. That's kind of how we live. But we're just happy to be here and happy to bring the show to you today. Of course, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so I have a very special guest here with me today, Renee Jones, who's going to talk to us about her organization and her experience with domestic violence and how she advocates for other people who may find themselves in this situation. So before we get started, I just want to tell you all that I'm sure you already know early voting has already started here in Texas. I just want to encourage everybody to make a plan. Make a plan, check your polling locations, make sure that you know where you're going, and go ahead and get out and vote. Vote early. Don't wait till the last minute. For information here in Harris County, you can go to harrisvotes.com. In other states and cities, you can go to vote.org for information. One little fun fact that I found out this week about voting. At some polling locations, they can turn you away if you have on any type of shirt or with a candidate's name on it. So no MAGA hats, no I'm with Joe, none of that. They will turn you away at some polling locations. So don't give them a reason to turn you around. Just wear something normal, okay? Put all that other stuff on your social media. Just wear something normal. I wanted to also mention, and we'll probably talk about this later, that our boy Ice Cube got into a little hot water with the black community. He said he had a little sit down. Well, it was recorded that he had a little sit down with Trump. And so, you know, us as African Americans, as black people, we don't too much care for him as a whole. So people was coming for Ice Cube. So later on, we're going to talk about this a little bit. And I want you guys to give me your opinion on this. I'm kind of okay with him having a sit down because you do have to communicate our needs to people in power. I just have a problem with him doing it at this time, late in the game, going to talk to the enemy. But, you know, we'll see how it plays out. I want you guys to chime in and tell me what you think about this situation with Ice Cube and talking about meeting with the Republican Party. Now, based on what he said, he didn't necessarily meet with Trump. He said he did not meet with Trump. He has not gone to the White House. He met with officials of the Republican Party, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't know why everybody's kind of getting on him about that. I don't have a problem with it. The problem I have with it is, why are we just hearing about this contract with Black America, Ice Cube? Why we just hearing about this? I mean, it's kind of late in the game. Some of the issues that he's addressing and talking about been around for years. So I think it's kind of close to the election date to be dividing us, you know, because we'll just get to a point where we'll be like, forget it. Our vote don't count anyway, and then people won't show up. We'll be in the same boat come this January with the same person in the White House. And I know y'all don't want that. So anyway, let's do our part. Let's get out to vote. We'll worry about the rest later. All right. Now, like I said, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But this month, we are going to talk more about domestic violence awareness. And I have my very special guest here with me, Renee Jones. I would love for you to introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little more about who you are and what you do.
Renee Jones. I'm a survivor from domestic violence. I was in domestic violence for about 16 years of my life.
Wow.
Yes. So it took me a while to say enough is enough. And it took my kids through a lot. So that's what made me say, this got to stop.
Right.
Yes.
A lot of times that is what kind of wakes us up to it. It's like our kids. You know, sometimes we can endure a lot of things, but when we see it affect our kids, it's like, hold on now.
Yes.
You might talk crazy to me, you might do that, but don't touch my kid and don't talk crazy to my kid. So you say it was about 16 years. Was this your first time ever experiencing anything like this?
I went through 2 relationships with domestic violence.
I had a couple guests on the show and we talked about this. A lot of times women think it's their fault because if it happens more than once. Did you ever experience that, feeling like, what did I do? Now this happening to me again?
Yes. So it's not about what we do or what we don't do. It's something with them. And I think it's a control issue.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's a control issue. And when you get to the point that you want to take another person's life, you know it's time to go. Because I'm looking at, if I do something to him, then I'm going to prison. So where my kids going to be?
Right.
So it's like I'm losing all the way around because now I'm separated from my kids. I don't want my kids to be over here and over there or placed in a foster home.
And then if you end up in prison, it's like almost like a death because they don't really get to
that's
see
what I'm
you.
saying. I'm losing all the way around. And people say, well, you just need to leave, you just need to go. But if you've never been in that position, you can't really speak on it.
Right, exactly.
Because you just can't up and leave and say, okay, I'm tired of this, so I gotta go. But no one is offering you a safe shelter to go.
Right.
No one is giving you advice on what to do once you leave. They're not opening their doors to you.
And that's what I say to people all the time. If you're going to give somebody advice and you don't have a bed for them to lay in, and you don't have a place for them to sit down at your house, and you don't have food to feed them, maybe don't give advice.
Yeah, don't give advice at all.
Yes. So what made you start your organization? Tell us a little bit about your organization.
My organization started this year of February. And what I do in-home care for VA patients.
Okay.
And hospice patients.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be kind of trying.
It is. And I've been in the nursing field over 30 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and angels, a piece come from my mother, Angels of Pearls.
Okay.
So I named that after her.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I had to find something to do with myself.
Right.
Yeah.
So how was that, like being involved in an abusive relationship and being a nurse? Was that hard to do? Like, do you feel like people knew what you were going through, or were you able to hide it at work?
At some point I did, but I would go to work and I would cry every day because I didn't want to be at home. I get off from work. I didn't want to go home because I knew what I was facing.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where I had 3 strokes.
Oh my God. So that was basically stress related.
Stress related.
And I can relate to this because I remember when I was in my first marriage and it was an abusive relationship, I started having these migraines. And I go to the doctor, he would put me on something and it just would never stop. I had the worst headaches in my life. And he finally asked me, when are the days that you have the most headaches? And I said, on the weekends when I'm home. And he said, okay, so who's home with you? And I said, my husband. He said, that might be the problem. And I really thought it was a joke at first. And I was like, you know what? It might be the problem. But really, it was the problem. I was so stressed out for the times that I had to be around him that I was causing myself these migraine headaches. So having these strokes, did that make it harder even to leave though?
No, it didn't. It made it easy for me because I seen where it was taking my health.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first one, my baby daughter, she went through a lot. She was a straight A school student. She was an honor roll student. but her grades started declining.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because we are fighting all night, arguing all night, and it was affecting her.
Right.
Yeah. So I knew it was time to go.
So for people who are tuning in, and a lot of times people don't think this is a big problem because they feel like, well, people have problems in relationships. People argue, people fight, and a lot of people don't think it's a big deal. But what can you say about the difference between just regular arguing, fighting, and just totally an abusive relationship?
Regular arguing and fighting, you're gonna argue, but at the end of the night, you can sit down, you can talk about it, talk
Right.
things out.
Right.
But an abusive relationship, name calling, throwing stuff, physical fighting, that's not good. Not
That's
good.
totally
Yes,
different.
that's just totally different. But I think mental abuse is worse than physical abuse.
Absolutely.
Physical abuse, the scars go away. Mentally, everything sticks there for a while.
Right.
And I went through both. So
Yeah, because when you are abused, even whether if it's just verbal, it still deals with your mind because you don't know if you caused this. Sometimes you start to believe what they're saying to you, and you have these bouts of guilt, depression. So it's definitely a mental thing that you have to overcome. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is once you get out of it, now you got to rebuild your mind too.
yeah,
Not just the
it's
strength
not
of your
just
body, but
yeah,
your
it's just
mind.
not you, it's the mind. Yes. And women often say that they stay because of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my point. Staying because of the kids. I didn't want my kids to live a different lifestyle than what they was accustomed to.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because they see me crying all the time. She would cry because I'm crying. And
Right.
I just had to get up enough courage to say, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We go from a 15-room house to a 1-bedroom apartment.
That is an adjustment.
And then you thinking about, okay, well, what is my family gonna say? What is people gonna say? I was living up here and now I'm living down here.
Yes.
But at the same time, they wasn't in the house with me.
Right. I'm happy that you brought that up because a lot of people will feel like, oh, that's just material things. You shouldn't worry about that. But it's not just material things. It's your lifestyle.
Yes.
It is your lifestyle. And I struggled with that also because I was like, man, I don't want my kids to want for anything.
Yes.
I want them to have everything they even could think about. And when you live in good, when it's two people, it's easier to live good.
Yeah.
When you just go off on your own, and it's just one you got to readjust everything. The kids got to get used to, okay, we may not can get it this week, but let's see what we can do next week. When before they just like, I want this, okay, order it. I mean, I dealt with that a lot, but I realized, and this is what I really hope people do realize, your kids want a happy mom more than anything. Because a lot of times kids just want to spend time with us anyway. They don't necessarily want the things as much as they want us. And so I had to learn that because I was just so torn between, okay, going off on my own, I know I can make things happen, but not as much as having a 2-income household. You can really make things happen. But, it's it's better to have peace. It's better to have peace of mind.
Yes.
And so we talked about this all month with my other guests, so I want to talk about this with you as well. What do you think about domestic violence survivors getting back into the dating scene? What are some of the barriers?
It's hard because you don't trust anybody.
Right.
And that's my biggest problem. I don't trust. So it's like, if I'm dating somebody, I still have a wall between us. I look for the red signs if you're going to raise your voice, how you deal with your anger. So all of this stuff comes into place.
Yes. And then, it could trigger you if they do raise their voice, remind you of something else. And what I find for me is that I just really don't want to be bothered anymore. You get to a certain age, you just be like, you know what, I'm good.
That's me.
I'm cool over here. I got my little space, nobody bother me. And when you start thinking about even the possibility of somebody coming into your life with all this,
You just know.
Yeah. And do you think that it makes you more in tune? Because for me, I feel like I could spot a liar. When they get to talking that talk, you be like,
yeah.
I feel like because you've been through it, you just see
it before it even get there.
Yeah, you can see it coming.
And people don't realize that there's a lot of men dealing with domestic violence.
Yes.
But they don't speak on it because they feel like, this gonna make me less of a man.
Right.
What my home is gonna say. But there's a lot of men dealing with the same thing.
Yes.
But they let their ego gets in the way of asking for help.
Sometimes that is what causes a lot of fights, because they got hit first, or they got called out their name first, or they got mistreated first. But like I tell everybody, no matter what gender you are, male or female, if somebody is mistreating you, that's not the person for you. Period.
Not at all.
If they can't be corrected, if they can't change their behavior, you just got to move on. And that's where male and female, because see, what happens is, I might be wrong in this, but I think women that get out of domestic violence relationships try again and are more trusting. Men, it's almost a no-go.
No.
I mean, they looking like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to get out here and do my thing,
thing, and that's it.
But ain't no heart being given. I'm not going to fall in love, none of that. And so the rest of us just looking out here like,
And that's my problem. I'm more of a giver.
Mm-hmm.
I give more than I receive. So that kind of gets me in a jam, because I want to help everybody. I want to see the good in everybody. And your mind is telling you, well, it's no good in this person. You see it, but you going with the heart.
Yes.
So
it's hard anyway right now in the world that we live in for anybody who finds themselves in the dating scene. It's very difficult because it's just crazy. It's crazy out here. But for a survivor, it's even worse, because you have some baggage that you got to heal from. And then you also know that there's only so much that one person can take. So if you get into another situation, you might end up with a case. I mean, in my
life. We ain't gonna even go there.
Yes. In my life, I just put a little warning out there, just to let them know, if I had a warning sticker, it would say proceed with caution, because she might catch a case. Yeah. Like, she can't take too much more. She might catch a case. And I've been trying. I feel like my whole life, I've avoided prison. So I want to continue on that path. Yes, let's hear from your daughter. What's your daughter's name? What's your name?
TQ.
TQ, let's hear from you. Your mom said a lot about how it affected you. How do you feel like it affects you in your life now?
Thank you for putting me on the spot.
No problem.
So, as she stated, she has been through this for years, mostly half of my life. Mm-hmm. I'm the middle child. My brother is older, and by him being older, he was always active, and he was like the social butterfly. So he was always away with his friends or playing sports. So he really didn't get to witness a lot of it. As far as my sister, when things were occurring, she was still like a newborn baby, up until maybe elementary for her. So she kind of didn't get to see a lot of it. And if she did, I'm pretty sure she didn't remember. But as far as me, I was always around, because my mom is, my girl. We like this. So I always wanted to be around her. And so I would witness the abuse, physical, verbal, mental, everything. And a lot of times I was afraid to leave, because I'm like, well, if I go to the movies with my friends, I come back, what if my mom isn't alive? Right. So a lot of times I would just stay just so I could be there, in case anything happened. But as far as me, like right now, I think a lot of the things that she went through made me the person that I am, because I always had it ingrained in my head, like, I would never let that happen to me. Anyone that tries to talk to me, date me, or whatever, I always look for the red signs, because I know what they look like. Even at a young age, I'm like, no, you're a liar. No, you got issues. I'm not dealing with you. Right. So, and then everybody's like, why are you so cold? Because I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. and I'm not about to deal with any BS.
Right.
And I just applaud her because, she could have stayed. That wouldn't have made it any better, but it took a lot of strength for her to leave and move on. And I'm glad that she did, because now it's like I see the person that I'm used to seeing, because when she was going through like the second relationship, there was a lot of depression. She didn't want to leave the house. She was always in her room. She would sleep a lot. But now she's slowly getting back to herself. She's coming out of her shell. Like, she keeps me going, like, let's do this. I'm like, Mama, come on now. I'm tired. So, but I want to do this. I want to do that. And so it keeps me going. And I'm just happy that she's in a good place right now.
Yes. And I'm happy that she has you to support her. And that you remind me of my son. My son is my ride or die. I'm telling you, he been with me through thick and thin, like you've been with your mom. He was the same way. He would change his plans based on me. Right. Like, I don't know if I want to do this because I got to make sure my mom good. And at first I felt bad, like, man, I feel like I'm cheating him out of a childhood. But he's a better man today. Yeah. Because he would never, even when he see a situation going sideways, he said, I got to move myself, because I can't be involved in nothing like that. True. So in the long run, I think it is a good example to get out of it, because it shows your children that you have strength, and it shows them how to proceed in their life. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I would love to talk to you more about how you're moving on in your life and any advice you can give to somebody who's in an abusive relationship.
Are you tired of bad hair days, dry, damaged hair, and lackluster curls? We know the Herbs Nectar Hair Care is here with a tight back to your hair and take you from struggle to shine. Offering organic, cruelty-free hair colors, we focus on giving you salon quality with multi-use products to save time, money, and shelf space. Visit our website today at www.herbsnectar.com for thicker, stronger, healthier hair. Don't forget to mention Stunner Radio at checkout.
All right. We're back, and I would love to hear more about how you are moving on with your life and any advice you can give to somebody out there right now who's in an abusive relationship.
If you're in an abusive relationship, one thing that you have to do is pray. My last relationship, I had to pray my way out of it. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So every time that he would leave, I would put him out, out of chains, out of this and that. I let him come back. But until you get on your knees and pray and cry out to God to remove you from that relationship, that's all that's going to help.
Yeah.
But if you're in an abusive relationship, seek help from somebody that is a survivor that can guide you to the steps that you need to go to.
Right.
Don't just say, I'm going to up and leave, and you leave, and then you got your kids on the street, y'all have nowhere to go, no nothing.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a plan.
Yeah, you got to have a plan.
And then right now during this pandemic, the shelters are full.
Full.
There's really no place for you to
go.
So I think that is great advice. Talk to somebody who that's a survivor, someone who's been there, because they will definitely know how to tell you what to do. They've been there.
And if they need someone to talk to, they can reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram, and DM me, inbox me, and I'll be glad to do what I can to help.
Right. And the same goes for me. I like to talk to people and just let them know that live to fight another day. Yes. Don't do nothing crazy and rash. Just make a plan. I want to read a comment from Treese. She says, yes,
my daughter,
prayer is the answer. And I agree. Prayer is definitely the answer. I mean, you have to start looking at your life like it matters, because it really does.
Like you are somebody.
Yeah, and it matters more than a relationship. That's why I have my line. I'm not trying to plug my stuff, but it says I love myself more. And I have a song called The Same Thing, because that's what got me out of it. I had to love myself more than anything, because at first I really didn't. It was my kids. Yeah. Like, it would be like, you could do whatever to me, but don't touch my kids. And I said, that don't even sound right. You can't do whatever to me. Now, once I learned that, now I got to love myself more than anybody, even my kids. Even though it don't sound right, it is the way you got to love yourself more than anybody. And when you do, you won't allow no situation
Nobody.
to put you in jeopardy. Nobody. It doesn't matter even if it is one of your kids. You won't have no issue saying, look, get back in line because you're not gonna treat me like that. And so I think that is one of the keys that I try to give people. Love yourself as much as you can. Try to love yourself more and more every day. Learn something new about yourself. Treat yourself well and only say good things to yourself.
And my thing, I would care about the other person so much, trying to help them keep a smile on their face. But all the time I was losing myself.
Yes, yes.
So it took me a long time to find myself again.
And when you find yourself, you cannot.
No, not at all.
You cannot lose that again. It's
Not
very
at all.
scary. I remember going to the store. This is when I knew I needed to get out of my marriage. I remember going to the store with $900. I didn't have no bills that was it was free money.
Mhm.
And because I had spent so much time taking care of the family, I said, I'm gonna treat myself. I went to the store and couldn't find nothing that I liked. I didn't remember what I liked no more. Because I was looking at it like, oh, well, what will he think about this? He may not like that on me. Or, well, he don't like this color. Or, well, if I eat that, I'm gonna gain weight because he likes me to stay on a certain side. And I said to myself, something wrong. You lost. That's when I first realized I had lost myself. I couldn't find one thing in the store, and I had $900 in my pocket that just spent on anything. Give me $5 today, I could find something. I mean, $900, man. And I knew, I was like, I gotta fix this. This ain't good. I mean, today, if you give me $900, I'm having a good time. First, I take myself out to eat. And I'm gonna eat whatever I want. But at the time, I was just so concerned about everything I ate, everything. Oh, I don't want to gain weight. I just want to be. Now I realize that I love myself more than anybody. So I'm going to live and be happy.
Yeah, you're going to take me as I am, or you can move
or
on.
leave it. Yeah, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
With the stretch marks and the cellulite and all. And you don't
Back
like it?
and all.
Keep it moving. Exactly. Awesome interview. Great job using your voice and being open and transparent. Thank you so much, Treese. I appreciate that. So tell people how they can follow you on social media, how they can reach out to you and support you.
I'm on Facebook as Renee Jones. I'm on Instagram as Pretty Girl Shine. So just give me an inbox. Do I want to put my phone number out there? Oh, they can contact me, Angels of Pearls, at 346-329-9542.
And if you
that's
guys
Angels of Pearls.
And if you guys want more information, you can reach out to us at Stunner Radio and we will get you in touch with her. Thank you so much for being on the show. We did start a little bit late, so we kind of had to rush through. But I appreciate you guys' patience. And I will love to have you back when that book drop. I'm just saying.
Girl, no. I already said I want to do a book on inspiration.
Whenever it drop, I want you to come back. I just felt it in my spirit that you was going to be working on a book. So I can't wait until you get that, and then I would love to have you back on the show. We're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back with the top 5 fails of the week.
Don't let social distancing happen.
Here. I'm going to play the Triva Dean commercial.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to play this one, and then with the top 5, we come back.
As well as spa treatments and hair and beard enhancement. There's no better way to boost your confidence, improve your appearance, and accentuate your best features.
I missed it on the first break.
Look forward to
Yeah, I missed it on the first.
impression with a fresh haircut and regular beard making. Get faded today with Steph B. the Barber. Follow us on Instagram at Steph B. the Barber to book your appointment. That's STEFBDA Barber. And tell us Star Radio Essential. Personality, charisma, and style. A true star ready to shine at your next event. Latriva Denae, radio personality and event host, will make your event the place to be and provide lasting memories for your audience. If you want to take your event to the next level, book Latriva Denae to be your host, MC, moderator, or red carpet interviewer and host. Contact her at Latriva Denae on Facebook and Instagram for booking information and pricing. And make sure to mention Stunner Radio Essential.
Top 5 fails of the week coming up next on Lisa Denae Live. Real talk for the real world.
All right, guys, it's the top 5 fails of the week, and you know how I do it on Lisa Denae Live. We are counting down to all the shenanigans that we saw this week in our world. Cardi B is making my 5 for the top 5 fails of the week, number 5. Cardi B allegedly, mistakenly leaked a photo of her breast onto the internet. Now, I don't know how you do that on mistake. I don't know. But she's always on there, and apparently she took it down, and she admitted that it was a mistake on her part. But ever since then, people are making all these comments and jokes about the size of her nipples. Now, I think it's really ridiculous because people just find stuff to do. I am so sorry that this happened to her, but she made it on my list for number 5 for the top 5 fails of the week because really, come on, you got to be more careful. Number 4 on my list is the fact that coronavirus numbers are rising. We are not doing our job. Clearly, this is a fail. So I just wanted to use this opportunity to remind everyone that this crisis is not over. You have to mask up because the numbers are rising again. We know that flu season is going to be in full swing, so we are not doing our job. That is number 4 on my top 5 fails of the week. Number 3, the stimulus negotiations have broken down yet again. Now, if you're like me, you're not really holding your breath on no stimulus. You'll be glad if it comes through, but you're not really worrying about it. But some people really need that stimulus. So I'm trying to figure out what is going on with our government. Why can't they get it together? Their sticking points are the $1,200 direct payments and the additional unemployment funds. I think this is what we need to be paying attention to when we are voting, because you need to not just vote for the president. You need to vote for the people who make these decisions, because it has taken them so long to decide on additional funding for unemployment. In the meanwhile, other people are becoming unemployed. Unemployment numbers in Texas rose in September to the very high number. So hopefully these negotiations will get back on track next week, and we'll see what they do. We're going to need our money. I'm just saying. Number 2 on my top 5 fails of the week was these town hall meetings with Trump and Biden. Give me a break. So they both had these town hall meetings. They were dueling, meaning they were both happening at the same time. So I think that's a fail. They decided not to do a debate. They decided to do these town hall meetings. They both were dodging questions. Listen, we do not have the best candidate, period, in neither one of these people. But that was a fail to me, these town hall meetings. You might as well have a debate. Number 1 on the top 5 fails of the week. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but in the state of Virginia, someone accidentally, this is what they're saying, cut a cable that took down the whole voter registration department on the last day of voter registration. So the whole registration of people trying to register to vote online was down, apparently because somebody cut a cord by mistake. I don't know about you, but that sounds kind of fishy. I don't know how I feel about that. Now, the good thing is they have extended for a few more days people to register to vote in Virginia. But I say be on the lookout for these kind of things because they're really trying to suppress our votes. And that is the reason why they are number 1 on my top 5 fails of the week. Now, I don't like to leave on a bad note, so we're going to be right back with the top 5 wins of the week. And I know y'all know what number 1 is already.
Attention all divas, fashionistas, ladies of style and sophistication. Lisa Denae's Diva Den is now open for your online shopping pleasure. We offer custom designs created exclusively for the Diva Den, including our Queen collection, specifically designed with you in mind. Choose from tees, tanks, hoodies, leggings, face masks, and home decor. Tired of those cookie cutter looks and one styling options? The Diva Den can help you get your shine on. Visit us today at www.lisadene.com/divaden and tell them Stunner Radio sent you. IAG Productions is your one-stop shop for event production, sales and marketing, makeup artist services, and entertainment booking, featuring signature events with Poet Goddess P and date and ladies nights. We don't do boring, and we're not your average production house. We are women supporting women and pushing men toward greatness. Visit us on Facebook and Instagram at IAG Productions for more information or to work with us for your next event. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
We're winning with the top 5 wins of the week on Lisa Denae Live. Real talk for the real world.
Yes, it's the top 5 wins of the week, and boy, oh boy, did we have a week ahead. Behind us. Number 5, I'm gonna rush through this since we had a late start today. This number 5 on the top 5 wins of the week. I put myself on the list, you guys. I am the number 5 because this week we celebrated World Thrombosis Day, and I don't know if you know what that means, but that's just a wonderful way of saying blood clots. And I am a survivor of a pulmonary embolism. So this week I was reminded of how fortunate I am because so many people die of a blood clot in the lung, and I survived. So I'm so grateful for that. I put myself on the number 5 for the top 5 wins of the week. Number 4, Rihanna, our girl Riri, made the Forbes list for the richest self-made women in America with a net worth of $600 million. So that's definitely a win, and that's why she's number 4. Now, you think she worried about a man at this point? I don't even much think so. Number 3, for the top 5 wins of the week, Amazon Studios has acquired Coming to America 2. Oh my God. Are you guys as excited as I am? I can't wait. That is a win, not just for us, the viewers, but also a win for everybody involved because apparently they paid a big price tag for it at the tune of $125 million. It's going to be airing on Amazon on December 18th, and I can't wait, just in time for Christmas. Number 2, Killer Mike's majority Black and Latino owned bank launched this week. It is called the Bank of Green, designed to support Black and Latino communities, Black business owners. Let's see what they do for us. Apparently, there are already thousands of people on the waiting list to become part of this bank. And I think we should support this and become a part so that we all can get our little piece of the American dream. That's number 2 for my top 5 wins of the week. Now, if you know anything about me or you watch my show, you already know what number 1 was going to be. The Lakers, baby, we took it. It's number 17 for us for the franchise. It's our 17th championship, and I knew we was going to win it this year. I've been telling y'all since the beginning that we were going to win it, and I just was beside myself, okay? If it not for coronavirus, I would have been in LA at the parade looking crazy with everybody else. Masked up, but I would have been there. I am so overjoyed because it's been such a hard year after losing Kobe Bryant. I'm a lifelong Laker fan. I've been a Laker fan since I was in like the 3rd grade. So I am so overjoyed. This is the 4th ring for LeBron, so all y'all need to bow down. He is the king, so stop questioning. It's 4 times that he has won a championship. The first with the Lakers, but we're looking for another one. You know how we do it. We got to repeat and 3P. So that's it for your girl this week. We're getting on out of here. Thank you so much for hanging there in with us this week. Boy, it's been a doozy, but we'll be right back here next week. And until then, you guys be cool. We'll see you next week. Bye.
If you're looking for a keynote speaker for your next event, look no further than Miss Mimi. Mimi Speaks, specializing in panel discussions, women's luncheons and conferences, and fashion shows and trade shows.
Okay, you think I should go? You want me to go get them?
I think Miss Trio just.
Oh, she's in?
Yeah, I'll go check the door. I don't know, maybe somebody came in. Because there's sometimes a flow of people come in and out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can go and see if somebody else is out there. What's up, family?
Well, I'm gonna just take commercials. I mean, take pictures for my guests.
M-Y, and then M-E-at@gmail.com. Are you enjoying the show? Great, glad to hear it. Show your love for your favorite Stunner Radio shows with t-shirts and coffee mugs and more. Visit our store at www.stunnerradio.com to get your Stunner merch today. We are Urban Tech Radio
one of you by yourself and
Black
your daughter.
and all those who value diversity. Stunner Radio is the heart and soul of the culture.
Ooh, we all love them shoes.